Living food sustains living systems. Fermented foods train the immune system to remain calm and intelligent. This idea rests on one of the most overlooked truths in modern health. You are not a single organism. You are an ecosystem. Trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi live inside you, mostly in your digestive tract, and together they weigh almost as much as your brain. They influence how you digest food, how you fight infection, how you regulate inflammation, how you think, and even how you age. When we speak about longevity, we are speaking not only about human cells, but about this entire internal civilization. Fermented foods are unique because they carry living microorganisms that have already learned how to survive, cooperate, and adapt. Miso, natto, pickled vegetables, kefir, and other traditional ferments are not simply preserved foods. They are biological teachers. When you consume them, you introduce experienced microbial communities into your gut. These microbes do not arrive as invaders. They arrive as mentors, showing your native bacteria how to function more efficiently. Inside the intestine, immune cells constantly sample what passes through. They are always asking one question: is this safe, or is this dangerous? In modern diets filled with artificial additives, excess sugar, and refined fats, this system becomes confused. It begins to overreact. Low-grade inflammation becomes permanent. The immune system stays slightly activated, like a smoke alarm that never turns off. This chronic state slowly damages blood vessels, joints, nerves, and brain tissue. Fermented foods gently retrain this system. Beneficial bacteria interact with immune cells in the gut wall, encouraging the production of regulatory T cells. These cells act like diplomats. They prevent unnecessary attacks. They promote tolerance. They reduce autoimmune reactions. Over time, this creates an immune system that is alert but not anxious, responsive but not aggressive. These foods also produce short-chain fatty acids when digested, especially butyrate. Butyrate is a primary fuel for colon cells. It strengthens the gut barrier, preventing toxins and inflammatory molecules from leaking into the bloodstream. When this barrier is strong, systemic inflammation decreases. The heart benefits. The brain benefits. The joints benefit. Aging slows quietly. There is also a metabolic dimension. Fermented foods improve insulin sensitivity by influencing gut hormones such as GLP-1 and PYY. These hormones regulate appetite, blood sugar, and fat storage. When they function well, energy remains stable throughout the day. Cravings diminish. Weight regulation becomes easier. This protects the cardiovascular system and reduces strain on organs over decades. The nervous system is deeply involved as well. More than 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut. Dopamine, GABA, and other neurotransmitters are influenced by microbial activity. When the gut ecosystem is balanced, mood stabilizes, anxiety decreases, sleep improves, mental clarity sharpens. These psychological benefits feed back into physical longevity by reducing stress-related damage. Japanese elders often begin their day with miso soup not by accident, but by inheritance of wisdom. Warm fermented broth in the morning gently awakens digestion. It introduces probiotics. It delivers minerals. It prepares the immune system for the day. This simple ritual sets the internal tone before stress, work, or worry can interfere. What makes fermented foods especially powerful is their humility. They are not marketed as superfoods. They do not promise instant transformation. They work quietly, invisibly, rebuilding internal ecosystems cell by cell. Over years, this quiet work accumulates into resilience. Living food also teaches patience. Fermentation itself is slow. It requires time, temperature, and care. By eating fermented foods, you participate in this philosophy. You accept that health is cultivated, not manufactured. That vitality grows, not appears. In aging bodies, immune systems often become either too weak or too reactive. Fermented foods help restore balance. They strengthen defenses without provoking chronic inflammation. They sharpen recognition without encouraging hostility. This balanced immunity protects against infections, cancer, autoimmune disorders, and degenerative diseases. When elders eat these foods daily, they are not chasing youth. They are maintaining cooperation between species inside their bodies. They are preserving dialogue between microbes and human cells. They are sustaining the invisible partnerships that make long life possible. Living food sustains living systems because life recognizes life. When you offer your body living cultures, it responds with coordination, resilience, and quiet strength that unfolds slowly across decades. Balanced protein preserves strength without strain. Natural soy feeds muscle while protecting organs. This principle reveals something subtle about how the body ages. It does not decline because it lacks power, but because it loses balance. Muscles weaken not only from inactivity, but from poor quality nourishment. Organs suffer not only from disease, but from excess. In long-living Japanese communities, protein is not consumed as a symbol of strength. It is consumed as a tool for harmony. After 50, the body becomes less efficient at synthesizing muscle protein. This process, known as anabolic resistance, means that muscles no longer respond as strongly to dietary amino acids. Many people react by eating larger amounts of animal protein, hoping to compensate. But this often brings unintended consequences: increased saturated fat, higher acid load, strain on kidneys, inflammation, and metabolic stress. Strength is gained briefly, but resilience is lost slowly. Natural soy offers a different pathway. In its traditional forms, tofu, natto, miso, edamame, it provides all essential amino acids in balanced proportions. These proteins are easily digested. They enter the bloodstream gradually. They stimulate muscle repair without overwhelming metabolic systems. This gentle delivery is crucial for aging physiology. Soy protein contains a high proportion of leucine, an amino acid that activates mTOR signaling, which triggers muscle synthesis. But unlike isolated supplements, soy delivers leucine within a matrix of fiber, minerals, and phytonutrients. This moderates its effect. Muscle is supported without pushing the body into chronic growth mode, which is associated with accelerated aging and cancer risk. Isoflavones in soy add another layer of protection. These plant compounds resemble weak estrogens and bind selectively to estrogen receptors. In postmenopausal women, they help maintain bone density and muscle tone. In men, they support cardiovascular health without disrupting hormonal balance. They reduce oxidative stress in blood vessels. They protect neurons. They regulate lipid metabolism. All of this contributes indirectly to preserved physical function. Kidney health is central to longevity. As we age, renal filtration naturally declines. High intake of animal protein increases nitrogen waste, which the kidneys must eliminate. Over decades, this burden accelerates decline. Soy protein produces less acidic byproducts and lower urea levels. This reduces renal strain. Elders who rely on plant-based proteins often maintain better kidney function into advanced age. There is also an effect on the gut microbiome. Soy fibers and oligosaccharides feed beneficial bacteria. When these bacteria thrive, they produce metabolites that reduce inflammation and improve nutrient absorption. Better absorption means muscles receive more usable amino acids from smaller portions. Efficiency replaces excess. From a cardiovascular perspective, soy improves lipid profiles. It lowers LDL cholesterol and increases endothelial nitric oxide production. This improves blood flow to muscles. Strong muscles require good circulation. Without it, even adequate protein cannot be utilized effectively. By supporting vascular health, soy indirectly strengthens physical capacity. Japanese elders rarely eat large portions of protein at once. Instead, they distribute small amounts throughout the day. A little tofu in soup. A bit of natto with rice. Some edamame as a snack. This pattern maintains steady amino acid availability. Muscles receive continuous support rather than sporadic overload. This matches the body's natural repair cycles. There is also a cultural dimension. Soy foods are prepared simply. Steamed, fermented, lightly seasoned. They are eaten with attention. This encourages proper chewing and digestion. Better digestion means fewer inflammatory byproducts. The liver processes nutrients more smoothly. The pancreas works less aggressively. Metabolic harmony is preserved. Strength in old age is not about lifting the heaviest weight. It is about rising from a chair without fear, walking without pain, carrying groceries without strain, holding posture without fatigue. These functional abilities depend on slow, steady maintenance of muscle fibers, connective tissue, and nerve connections. Natural soy supports all three. By choosing balanced protein, these elders avoid the extremes of deficiency and excess. They nourish muscle without feeding disease. They protect organs while preserving vitality. Over decades, this creates bodies that are firm yet flexible, strong yet gentle, capable without being overburdened. Natural soy does not promise dramatic transformation. It offers quiet preservation. It supports the architecture of movement and endurance in a way that aligns with aging biology. Through daily moderation and biological intelligence, it allows strength to remain a companion rather than a fleeting visitor. Minerals maintain internal order. Sea vegetables keep electrical and chemical systems stable. This idea touches the invisible foundation of human life. Every thought, every heartbeat, every muscle movement, every breath is guided by tiny charged particles moving across membranes. Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, iodine, selenium, zinc, these are not supplements first. They are messengers. They carry information through the body in the form of electrical signals and chemical reactions. Without them, biology loses coordination. As people age, mineral balance becomes more fragile. Absorption in the intestines declines. Stomach acid decreases. Medications interfere with uptake. Processed foods replace mineral-rich plants. Slowly, quietly, deficiencies appear. Not dramatic enough to cause immediate illness, but enough to weaken systems over time. Nerves misfire more often. Muscles cramp. Heart rhythms become unstable. Thyroid activity fluctuates. Fatigue increases. Balance worsens. Memory softens. These changes are often blamed on aging, when in fact they are signs of disrupted mineral economy. Sea vegetables offer a rare solution because they grow in mineral-saturated environments. Ocean water contains nearly every element needed for human physiology. Kelp, kombu, wakame, hijiki, and nori absorb these elements and store them in bioavailable forms. When consumed in small amounts, they act like gentle mineral infusions for the body. Iodine is one of the most important contributions. It is essential for thyroid hormone production. Thyroid hormones regulate metabolic rate, temperature, heart function, brain activity, and cellular energy. Even mild iodine deficiency can lead to sluggish metabolism, cold intolerance, depression, and cognitive decline. Japanese elders traditionally consume seaweed daily, providing steady iodine intake that keeps thyroid function stable for decades. Magnesium is another critical element found in sea vegetables. It participates in more than 300 enzymatic reactions. It relaxes muscles and blood vessels. It stabilizes heart rhythm. It regulates blood sugar. It supports sleep. Deficiency increases inflammation and oxidative stress. By replenishing magnesium naturally, sea vegetables reduce vascular stiffness and nervous system irritability. Calcium from marine plants is bound with trace minerals that improve absorption. This supports bone density and prevents fractures. But calcium also plays a role in muscle contraction and neurotransmitter release. Balanced calcium intake ensures smooth movement and precise neural signaling. Potassium in sea vegetables helps regulate fluid balance and blood pressure. It counteracts excess sodium, reducing vascular tension. This protects arteries and supports circulation to peripheral tissues. Combined with magnesium, it maintains cardiac stability. Selenium and zinc contribute to antioxidant defenses and immune regulation. They protect mitochondria from damage. They support DNA repair. They preserve cognitive function. Over decades, these micronutrients accumulate into resilience. What makes sea vegetables unique is their synergy. They do not deliver minerals in isolation. They present them in natural ratios shaped by ocean ecology. The human body evolved in coastal environments. Our physiology recognizes these ratios. It integrates them efficiently. Synthetic supplements often fail to replicate this harmony. There is also an effect on hydration. Minerals regulate how water moves in and out of cells. Proper electrolyte balance ensures that hydration reaches tissues rather than remaining in circulation. This improves skin elasticity, joint lubrication, and muscle performance. It also supports blood volume and pressure regulation. In Japanese cuisine, sea vegetables are rarely eaten in large amounts. They are added to soups, broths, salads, and rice dishes in modest portions. This prevents excess iodine intake while maintaining steady supply. This moderation reflects deep biological wisdom. Seaweed also contains unique polysaccharides that feed beneficial gut bacteria. These fibers enhance mineral absorption and reduce inflammation. They strengthen the intestinal barrier, preventing leakage of toxins that would otherwise disrupt mineral balance. From a neurological perspective, mineral stability preserves cognitive clarity. Neurons depend on sodium-potassium gradients to generate impulses. Calcium controls neurotransmitter release. Magnesium modulates receptor sensitivity. When these elements are balanced, thinking remains sharp, reflexes remain quick, and emotional regulation improves. Over time, consistent intake of sea vegetables supports structural integrity. Collagen synthesis improves. Cartilage remains hydrated. Tendons retain elasticity. These tissues depend on trace minerals for enzymatic cross-linking and repair. Japanese elders often attribute their strength to simple foods, unaware of the deep chemistry involved. A small strip of kombu in soup. A sheet of nori around rice. A handful of wakame in salad. These modest additions quietly maintain internal order. Mineral balance is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It reveals itself in absence of chaos. In steady heartbeat. In warm hands. In stable mood. In reliable digestion. In confident movement. Sea vegetables support this quiet stability, allowing the body to function as an integrated system rather than a collection of struggling parts. Slow eating protects metabolic harmony. Rhythm matters more than quantity. This principle reflects a truth that modern life has almost erased. The body was designed to receive nourishment gradually, with attention, patience, and respect for timing. Digestion is not a mechanical funnel where food disappears and energy appears. It is a carefully coordinated sequence involving nerves, hormones, enzymes, blood flow, and emotional state. When this sequence is rushed, every downstream system is disturbed. The digestive process begins before food enters the mouth. The sight, smell, and anticipation of a meal activate the cephalic phase of digestion. Salivary glands begin secreting enzymes. The stomach prepares acid. The pancreas readies insulin. The nervous system shifts toward parasympathetic dominance. When people eat quickly, distracted by screens or worries, this preparatory phase is skipped. The body is surprised by food rather than prepared for it. Chewing is the first act of metabolic intelligence. It breaks food into particles small enough for enzymes to work efficiently. It mixes food with saliva containing amylase and lipase. It signals satiety centers in the brain. When chewing is insufficient, large food fragments enter the stomach. Digestion becomes incomplete. Fermentation increases in the intestine. Gas, bloating, and inflammation follow. Nutrient absorption declines. Blood sugar rises more erratically. Slow eating allows glucose to enter the bloodstream gradually. This prevents sharp insulin spikes. Stable insulin signaling protects blood vessels from damage. It reduces fat storage. It preserves pancreatic function. Over decades, this stability prevents metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Hormones such as leptin, ghrelin, CCK, and GLP-1 regulate hunger and fullness. They require time to be released and recognized. When meals are rushed, these signals arrive too late. People overeat without realizing it. Chronic overconsumption becomes normal. In Japanese elders, slow eating preserves sensitivity to these hormones. They remain responsive to true hunger and true satiety. Blood flow distribution is also affected by eating speed. During digestion, blood is redirected toward the gut. When food is consumed calmly, this redistribution is smooth. When food is gulped rapidly, stress responses interfere. The sympathetic nervous system constricts vessels. Digestion becomes inefficient. Nutrient delivery to tissues is compromised. There is a neurological dimension as well. Mindful eating engages the insular cortex and prefrontal regions associated with awareness and self-regulation. This strengthens neural pathways that support impulse control. Over time, people who eat slowly develop better emotional regulation around food. They use eating to nourish rather than to numb. Slow meals also protect the microbiome. Gradual nutrient delivery favors beneficial bacteria that metabolize fibers and produce anti-inflammatory compounds. Rapid intake of refined carbohydrates favors opportunistic microbes that promote dysbiosis. Gut ecology shapes immunity, mood, and aging. Temperature plays a role. In Japanese tradition, meals often include warm soup or tea. Warmth relaxes smooth muscle in the digestive tract. It improves enzyme activity. It enhances vagal tone. Combined with slow eating, it creates optimal digestive conditions. Posture matters too. Sitting upright, relaxed, and unhurried allows proper diaphragmatic movement. This massages abdominal organs and supports peristalsis. Slouched, rushed eating compresses the stomach and intestines, impairing motility. Over years, rhythmic eating preserves mitochondrial efficiency. When nutrients arrive predictably and gradually, cells optimize ATP production. Oxidative stress decreases. Cellular aging slows. Energy remains stable throughout the day. In contrast, irregular and rapid eating forces cells into metabolic shock. Sudden glucose floods, insulin surges, and lipid overloads damage mitochondria. Repair mechanisms are overwhelmed. Inflammation increases. Fatigue becomes chronic. Japanese elders often eat in silence or gentle conversation. They place food carefully. They pause between bites. They notice textures and flavors. This is not ceremony for its own sake. It is biological optimization disguised as culture. This rhythm also supports emotional well-being. Eating slowly reduces cortisol. It activates parasympathetic pathways. It creates moments of calm in the day. These moments accumulate into lower lifetime stress burden, which directly influences aging speed. Slow eating is not about restriction. It is about cooperation with internal clocks. The stomach empties at a certain pace. The pancreas secretes at a certain rhythm. The liver processes nutrients in cycles. When you respect these rhythms, the entire system functions with less friction. Over decades, this frictionless metabolism preserves arteries, nerves, kidneys, and brain tissue. It maintains stable energy. It prevents silent damage. It allows nourishment to become information rather than disturbance. Rhythm transforms food from fuel into dialogue. Through patience and presence, each meal becomes a tuning of biological instruments that keeps the body in harmony with time. Daily simplicity outlives occasional intensity. Small choices repeated become biological destiny. This principle reveals why longevity is rarely built through dramatic effort and almost always through quiet consistency. The human body is not impressed by short bursts of discipline followed by long periods of neglect. It learns from patterns. It reshapes itself according to what happens most often, not what happens occasionally. Every repeated behavior leaves a trace in cells, tissues, and neural circuits. Each day, trillions of chemical reactions occur inside you. Enzymes are activated or silenced. Genes are expressed or suppressed. Proteins are folded, repaired, or discarded. These processes respond continuously to your environment. What you eat most days. How you move most days. How you sleep most days. How you think most days. These signals accumulate into instructions that guide aging. Occasional intense efforts, strict diets, extreme exercise, sudden detoxes, create temporary shifts. They may improve numbers on a chart. They may produce short-term motivation. But they also activate stress pathways. Cortisol rises. Inflammation increases. The nervous system becomes vigilant. When the effort ends, the body often rebounds toward old patterns, sometimes more strongly than before. In contrast, simple daily habits operate below the threshold of resistance. A bowl of soup, a short walk, a glass of water, a few minutes of calm breathing, a consistent bedtime. These actions do not trigger alarm systems. They are interpreted as normal environmental features. The body adapts to them willingly. Over time, these habits reshape gene expression through epigenetic mechanisms. Methylation patterns change. Histone modifications shift. Genes related to inflammation, repair, and metabolism adjust their activity. This is how lifestyle becomes biology. Japanese elders rarely speak of health programs. They speak of routines: morning tea, light breakfast, gardening, walking to the market, evening soup, early rest. These rhythms create predictable cycles of activity and recovery. Predictability reduces physiological stress. Stress accelerates aging. Simplicity slows it. Simplicity also protects decision-making capacity. When habits are automatic, mental energy is conserved. Cognitive load decreases. This reduces fatigue and emotional reactivity. Lower mental stress supports hormonal balance, immune function, and cardiovascular health. From a cellular perspective, repeated moderate nourishment maintains autophagy, the process by which cells recycle damaged components. Extreme overeating suppresses autophagy. Extreme fasting overstimulates stress pathways. Balanced regular intake keeps cellular cleanup functioning optimally. This prevents accumulation of dysfunctional proteins and organelles that drive degenerative disease. Muscles respond similarly. Regular gentle movement maintains neuromuscular connections. Sudden intense workouts strain tendons and joints. Consistent moderate activity preserves mobility without injury. Over decades, this determines independence. Sleep is another domain of simplicity. Regular sleep schedules stabilize circadian rhythms. Hormones such as melatonin, cortisol, and growth hormone align properly. Tissue repair improves. Brain waste clearance increases. Inconsistent sleep disrupts these processes and accelerates cognitive decline. Digestive health thrives on routine. Regular meal times synchronize enzyme secretion and gut motility. Irregular patterns confuse these systems. Dysbiosis and inflammation follow. Simplicity preserves gut harmony. Even emotional health follows this rule. Small daily moments of gratitude, connection, and calm strengthen neural pathways associated with resilience. Occasional retreats cannot replace daily kindness toward oneself. There is also a social dimension. Simple lifestyles encourage community, shared meals, regular interactions, predictable gatherings. Social stability protects mental health and reduces mortality risk. Longevity is not only biological, it is relational. Small habits compound like interest. 1% improvement each day becomes transformation over years. But unlike financial interest, biological compounding includes repair, adaptation, and memory. The body remembers kindness. Importantly, simplicity allows flexibility. When life changes, simple habits can adjust without collapse. Extreme systems break easily. Moderate systems bend. Daily simplicity does not seek perfection. It seeks sustainability. It accepts imperfection without abandonment. Missed days are absorbed without guilt. This prevents the shame cycles that undermine long-term change. Over decades, repeated gentle signals convince the body that the environment is safe, predictable, and supportive. In such environments, organisms invest in maintenance rather than emergency survival. DNA repair improves. Telomeres shorten more slowly. Inflammatory tone decreases. Cognitive reserve increases. Biological destiny is not written in one heroic chapter. It is written in thousands of ordinary pages. Each small choice adds a line. Each repeated behavior reinforces the narrative. When elders live simply, they are not limiting life. They are refining it. They are removing noise so essential processes can be heard. They are allowing health to emerge naturally from rhythm, restraint, and respect for time. If you found these insights helpful and want to continue learning practical, science-backed strategies to stay healthy, strong, and vibrant as you age, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends and family who could benefit, and subscribe to our channel for daily senior wellness tips, nutrition guidance, and simple lifestyle hacks designed to enhance longevity and quality of life. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video that can help you live healthier, happier, and more empowered every day.